Yeah, I can do it now. Cool, it's recording.
Yeah, I've given my permission as well.
Should we begin?
Yes, please.
Okay. Welcome back to DMA Brandmasters, where marketing genius meets strategy in a symphony of success. I'm your host, Preeti Hoon, and today we are delving into the heart of advertising during India's most electric seasons, the IPL and general elections. Joining us is Rakesh, a trailblazer from Live Pure, who is here to share how this dynamic brand navigates the thrilling waters of sports and political fervor with innovative marketing strategies. With a keen eye for the game, and a strategic approach to audience engagement, Rakesh will reveal how Live Pure leverages its partnership with cricket legend Sachin Tendulkar, especially during the IPL, and how they adapt in an election year. Prepare to be inspired as we explore the art of captivating an audience when every moment is a high stakes play, both on the field and in the political arena. Let's uncover the strategies that set Live Pure apart. Welcome, Rakesh.
Thank you so much, Preeti, for having me on the show.
Okay, so first thing first, let's get on to the strategic media allocation during IPL and elections. With Lipio's known association with cricket icon Sachin Tendulkar, how does this partnership influence your media spend and strategy, especially during the IPL? And now we have elections as well. So, how do you pivot or maintain your strategy to ensure maximum engagement?
Yeah, if you would see, I mean, water purification is our anchor category, and Pure as a brand is primarily known for our water purification solutions. And we have a great association with our brand ambassador Sachin Tendulkar for so many years, which has been continuing. So the basic essence of this partnership is the trust and legacy which Sachin brings out about the brand. Because the water purification is a lot about trust. People have to trust what they drink because at the end of the day, what you drink is going to manifest in your health as such. So Sachin brings about a lot of trust and legacy to our brand, brings about goodwill, brings about his personality, which is of a known structured person, a legend in his own right. And so that's where we derive our strength from us as well. And we continue to get inspired by our consumers for continuous ability to service them. So as far as the upcoming elections, the general elections and IPL is concerned, I think it's actually a fabulous time when both of these mega events are coinciding. And for us, we see as an opportunity to come across to the consumers across different sections, different media channels to reach out to the consumers. So while I believe that will be a huge clutter across with so many brands vying to take the attention of a consumer, but I think we have some strategies on our side which will set us apart from some of the other brands which are competing for this space as such.
Okay, more than the opportunity, do you agree that it's more edge of the seat for the marketers? Because, like you said, it's cluttered, and for a category like yours where you have to win the trust, and though you have the cricketing icon by your side, do you think that's going to get tougher from here?
I think one of the brilliant business models which we have, in which I'll give you a little bit an example. India is across India. We are a water-starved country, and the quality of the water is just not good across the country. And some parts of the country is actually very bad. So different parts of the country actually require a very customized solution for pure drinking water as such. And at the same time, despite majority of the Indians not having access to pure water, we still find that the water purifier penetration in India is struggling at around 6 to 7%, which means 90% of the families still don't have access to pure water because they go through other water channels, pure water. Say, for example, they buy a bottled water or a jar. So they're not very sure of what kind of a water they are actually drinking, the source of the water, so to say, or some prefer a boiling water. So what we constructed a model whereby which we wanted to take away the problems of the consumers and leave it to us. The majority of the challenges in owning a water purifier is once you own a water purifier, after every year you keep on have to do the AMCs because your consumables filters go bad, and every year you almost pay
Right.
40% of the acquired price in terms of service. So the consumer find it burdensome, so Live Pure, we started a unique subscription model 2 to 3 years back, and which has now gained traction, whereby which we told the consumers that you just need to install our water purifiers. You don't have to pay anything to us, and you can opt for our subscription plans, which can start from 399 to 599 rupees, basis unlimited water supply or limited water supply. So I think we have now acquired more than 300,000 consumers across the country, and our intention is to reach out to a million consumers in next 2 years to increase
Okay.
penetration and give water purifiers to millions of Indians who don't want to own, who don't have probably the propensity to buy one, or don't have the or don't want to get engaged into a situation whereby they have to get concerned about the service. So we're taking complete problems away from the consumer. So here is the catch. For us, the content of this kind of a business model, which is still not very well known across the India, gives us an edge over the other competitors because we hardly have any competition in this space. We have 70% share of rental market in water purifiers. So our content is still to reach out. We have millions of Indians still to reach out to access of pure water. So we believe content, what you provide to the consumers, what service and experience you to give the consumers, and how do you convert that into a rich content which is easily identifiable and read by the consumers across media channels, is what will set one brand apart from the other. And we certainly have couple of certain great things for the consumers in the upcoming season, and we believe that we have a chance to stand out. And I think any brand which has a great content, which is a great experience delivering proposition to the consumer, will stand out even during this clutter. That's my take on this.
Sure, sure. Well, we understand that bit, but how does Liftpure innovate its content strategy during these, high octane events? And can you share an instance where you had to creatively navigate through the competing priorities?
Yes, of course. I mean, it's always evolving. I know, if you talk about performance marketing, digital marketing, so you speak to a certain set of cohort of consumers, continuously evolving, but we have to reach out to a wider audience. So for us, it becomes much easier because we're not really looking at consumers who are, specifically looking at some product or the category. We are telling a consumer that here we are giving a service which is free of cost. So our strategy is much more diverse. So what we do is, so we use three levers. The first lever is the digital marketing, which is on platform marketing, or could be non-platform marketing. On platform marketing means when you do Amazon or a Flipkart for that matter. Non-platform is outside the platform. Third
Okay.
piece is we bring in a lot of influencer marketing who talk about us programs, and then the consumer actually watches it, gets onto a website which is a D2C, which is completely tech enabled, and then he's led into a lead management system which we call the call center activity. So there the consumer is completely made educated about the entire processes, such that how you can acquire a Live subscription service. So from the start, from the content generation, from the media strategy, leading up to the D2C and leading up to the lead management, in itself is a complete package for the consumers. Consumer feels overwhelmed with the kind of the entire structure which Live has thrown out for him. So I think we'll continue to build on this, and I believe that we have a winner advantage in this as far as the
Okay.
media strategy is concerned.
Okay. And how does Liftpure tailor its advertising strategies to resonate with diverse audience segments during the IPL versus election seasons? And since, there are like these events have come together and the simultaneous efforts must be being made. So are there specific messages or channels you prioritize in one event over the other?
As far as the upcoming elections is concerned, I believe there's going to be a lot of viewership across the news channels, and IPL in itself is a mega event for the year, which will have a fixed audience, which in any case has. So for me as a strategy, I think the balance would tilt a little bit more in favor of those channels which are churning out the political news as such, because a lot of engagement is going to happen with the vast diaspora of India. And I believe even our category resonates with this kind of a diaspora as such, where we believe those kind of consumers would look out at such messages and consume the messages. So for us, I think it's an ideal strategy whereby which maybe many of these conventional advertisers would look at IPL as an avenue, but for me the election is seems to bring out a bigger opportunity for us. And the best
I
part
see.
is, yeah, the best part for us is also that typically the water season starts in the heat of the summers, which is April, May, and June. So it coincides me being, so I find an election opportunity, the election news and hype around the election a bigger opportunity for me, for us, for our brand at least.
Okay, understood. And considering Liftpure's engagement strategies, how has digital transformation enabled you to navigate the advertising demands of the IPL and election periods more effectively? And are there digital innovations that have been periodically, set and particularly successful?
I mean, to be very frank with you, I mean, we have invested so much of money into the technology, creating a technology stack.
Hmm.
So much so that, today a consumer logs onto our website, first is drawn to our website through various, digital marketing tools which are available, influencer marketing tools, on-platform advertising, in-platform advertising, and then brought on to our D2C. It's a completely a seamless experience. The investments what we made into the technology stack, what we have created for our businesses is so seamless that the consumer can actually start, from the perspective of being drawn towards a brand, then buy whether the product or the subscription services, and he can check out without even having to get engaged into a conversation whereby which he doesn't like. Majority of the consumers, if you see millennials and even now, they want to be let, they don't want to be assisted. We always talk about assisted sales, but today's consumers, with the amount of content consumption they are doing, at times they want to be left alone actually, and let them navigate their journey. So even in a complex product solution services, we are seeing increasingly customers wanting to have an unassisted approach while they are buying as such. So
And how
we,
do you tap onto that, the millennials, so to
yeah,
say? And do you have any Gen Z specific strategies?
yes, of course. I mean, we one of we are very very strong in some of the biggest, what I call migratory population across the country, which is Bangalore, Delhi, Hyderabad, where so many of the people who are living in other cities but work here, whether it's in IT or whether it's in software as a service, and those are the consumers who really don't want to own anything. The idea of millennials not to own anything is becoming increasingly very very clear, and
Is
there
that
we,
good or bad?
I mean, that's great for a company like us who is actually promoting rental and subscription services.
Okay, okay.
So they love it because at the end of the day, they don't want to own it. They don't want to own it. They say it's available, great. You're giving us purified water. You're taking care of our problems. Your service technician is giving me an outbound call, fixing up in case the filters are going bad, and he's going it. So it's a completely flawless actually. And the consumer feels, why do I need to actually own a product? And then why do I need to keep on complaining about the product goes wrong? Then he charges me warranty. Then he says this is out of warranty. So we've taken the problems out of the minds of the consumer. So I believe we stand to gain with the kind of investments we made in technology to create such a brilliant stack as such. And coming IPL, I think you will see coming IPL and coming election season, you'll see a lot of work being done around the same. And of course, with our
Okay.
brand ambassador Sachin Tendulkar endorsing our products and services, I think it's going to be a great watch, and we can have a great connect in election as well as an IPL as such.
Sure. And since you mentioned about the rental and subscription model, which one fares out better for you? The one that people buy permanently, or the one that, the permanent purchases, or the rental, or the subscription
So
based?
I think our motive is first of
And which
all,
is better for you?
yeah. So while I don't want to sound that we are at we are a it's a CSR activity. We're at the end of the day a commercial organization. But if you see, our intention is actually to give access to purified water to millions of Indians. So we believe that there are both cohorts which are working together, which is like people who want to own the product, and there are people who just don't want to own the product, don't want to own the hassles. It is not that those people cannot afford a water purifier, Preeti. They can very much afford, but they don't have hassles. They don't want their privacy to be intruded, because you call for mineral water bottles, that guy is unhygienic, dirty, and you don't know, you want to put the tumblers, he comes at odd times, and you don't know the security of the house. There are several challenges to it, so we tell them,
This is new, this is
yeah,
new to me. Hearing that even not allowing a repair guy to enter your house is something which now millennials, and probably I think it's more with Gen Z than millennials. I think we are
yeah,
millennials, and I don't think we have problem as such. But this
yeah.
is new to me. I mean, I'm hearing it from you for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it, and
Interesting.
yeah, our consumer cohort is saying that they feel very relieved. Even and everything is on the app. If the water is going bad, we have a predetermined appointment with them, which we take, and then and that also happens once in 6 months. So just imagine you getting mineral water jars, those 20 liter, 40 liter, and those coming on the lift, and they're dirty jar, and then they coming down,
Yeah,
putting down the tumbler. So a lot of hassle. So I think the seamless kind of a
interesting.
customer experience which we are giving, we believe that We are here to stay in both, whether it's product and whether it is water. And eventually, we would like to have we would like to be, a leader in the overall water space, whether it's through subscription or whether through its product. So, product as a service or water as a service. So, we're looking at both these big cohorts to, generate leadership for us in the next 18 to 24 months.
That's interesting, actually. And coming to the technical part, how do you measure the ROI of its advertising, of your advertising investments during the high visibility periods of the IPL and elections? And are there unique challenges in quantifying impact during these times?
So for us, it's a little bit easier to, well, I'll tell you, because one of our greatest vehicles of driving affordability is e-commerce. So e-commerce,
Okay.
which we have used as an affordability pattern, where we are addressing millions of consumers through, value-based pricing, where they get, value-based pricing. And on the subscription side, which is again a D2C led module, we have a real-time information. So almost 60 to 65% of our business is largely through digital channels, whether it's e-commerce, our own website, and plus omni-channel. So I think we really get to know the impact of the advertising in real times in terms of ROI. So I think we are
Okay.
better placed than some of the other organizations which may have a larger offline presence. And there's always a lag between the impact of the advertising and the actual sales to really understand the impact of ROI. We actually do that. In our subscription model, we have an influencer. Just we released a YouTube video last week, and we can actually see more consumers coming onto our website. So for us, measuring the impact of the ROI is definitely easier because of our high propensity towards the digital channels as such, where it's easier to calculate the ROI in terms of what you spend and how much you're selling. It's a very, very straight line approach in that case.
And with the IPL being a prime advertising period for Live Pure, especially with your partnership with Sachin Tendulkar, like you shared, and how do you balance brand building with performance marketing? And during election years, how does this balance shift, if at all?
I think I would say it's not that the IPL offers a great viewing opportunity, but more importantly, I think we are more concerned about what stage is consumer in terms of a journey of buying a product. So it's not necessary that the IPL can only be that source. So performance marketing has its limitations. While it can give you an ROI based advertising in the sense but performance marketing has a big challenge that it keeps on addressing the same set of consumers over and over again, and over a period of time your ROI keeps on decreasing, right? But it seems better to you because you believe you get sort of sales out of it. So I
Money,
think,
yeah.
yeah, you get. So I think from that perspective, I think we need to be well balanced. And as I told you, I feel that the general elections approaching offers us a better opportunity to reach to a wider section of the consumer, because the width of the audience probably watching these news channels and watching news around the general elections would be much more widespread. Where IPL, great, cricket is always people love cricket. But then, I think addressing the needs of the consumer, I think we could have a wider span of attention on the channel. So the mix would be a little bit more towards the elections than towards IPL as far as our brand is concerned.
So as a brand, you're okay with your expenditure multiplying during these times, but you want to tap onto the opportunity. So your marketing budget might just increase, and you will might just allocate a specific budget, but you're okay with having this expense by your side because you want to tap onto the opportunity.
So for us, this is a different year because we are also doing a brand refresh program. So, and that brand refresh program will be launched through a new TVC with Sachin Tendulkar. And so, obviously, for us, it may entail a higher advertising spend, and so be it. So, we are ready, and we want to cash the opportunity which these two mega events are giving for us.
Sure. And you have no uh, thoughts on having an playing cricketer versus having a cricketer who's already like a global icon, of course, but you don't want an IPL playing cricketer rather than having somebody who's retired
I
to
think Sachin
have your maximize reach.
Sachin Tendulkar is an icon. I mean, in the sense, when he talks, I think he's probably one of the most fittest players India has seen, right? Probably along with Virat Kohli, I would say they're the fittest players. I mean, he's still very much in the middle of the ground, whether it's an IPL coaching. I think the kind of elements of the personality which Sachin Tendulkar brings to our brand are completely brilliant. As I told you, legacy, trust, faith, which are the very key words when you are marketing a water purifier for us. But at the same time, we also understand the other aspects of marketing our products. So we also engage in influencer marketing programs through bloggers who are expert in explaining out the product. Maybe another, of course, not another cricketer at this point of the time.
Okay, in fact, I was coming to that question. How critical are influencer and influencer endorsements to your advertising strategy? I mean, you already have a big icon, like I wouldn't say celebrity endorsement because you do believe in it and quite visibly. So, what about the influencers, the micro level or the macro level during IPL and general elections? What's your take on that? How do you ensure these endorsements deliver value across different audience segments?
So I think influencers I will put into two pieces. The one is the actual bigger influencers, which means when we talk about influencers, we generally talk about the technology products, whether it's a mobility or an a pad, iPad, where people start believing more about when they talk about technology products. The influencers make a much more appeal. But I think even in a category like ours, which is water and anything related to the kitchen, we find influencers playing a very very definitive role, and we are seeing this increasingly by having a couple of influencers on board where we do some YouTube videos where we do and market them well. So the role of the influencers is actually increasing even a category like a water purification, which may not sound exciting to the consumers because nothing digital about it, nothing electronics about it, but consumers are engaging themselves in a much more higher place.
100%. Even as a consumer, I can tell you if I have to buy a new product, I will go on YouTube and check you
Yes,
know, from camera to a phone camera to a, like you said, a mixer or a Live Pure per se. But yeah, people I mean, they do check all the nuances of a product before buying it.
And one more thing which I want to tell you, Preeti, is very few people understand this. Although in the world there's a very very huge industry, what we call the referral industry. So I may tell you that the water subscription service what we entail, more than 25% of our consumers which are logged on every month are basically the referral consumers. So you can just imagine the consumer who's buying is actually acting as an influencer to somebody whom he's referring that the service is brilliant, go ahead with it,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
hassles. So I think referral itself is at 25% of our cohort right now, which again goes to the point that our biggest influencers are consumers who are buying our service every month. So one is this celebrity influencer, which could be who could be an expert in unboxing the product, and then there's these are the day-to-day influencers who actually feel so great about the product. They just don't leave it to ratings and reviews. They will actually refer someone and
Do you
and
think word of mouth has uh, it has sort of garnered more importance in the information age that we are living in?
absolutely more so in terms of those products and categories where service and experience is of
Yeah,
critical importance, I would say.
sure. And based on current trends, what are your predictions for the future of advertising for Live Pure, and especially in the context of major events like IPL and the general elections? Are there any new avenues or strategies you're exploring?
I think if you see post COVID, I think it's been a very dynamic field. I mean, consumers went onto the digital channels. Now we are seeing the consumer are going back to the offline channels as well. So I think we are seeing a seamlessness coming in. I know in my we feel that within the span of 12 to 18 months, seamlessness and interaction as an omni channel. We believe a lot of omni channel play will come into play into advertising as well. Whereas the consumers may log on to online, buy from offline, check from offline, buy from online, study content from online, but still buy from offline. So I
That's a
think
lot of
these are,
work for you.
yeah, it's a lot of work. So we believe so. We're looking at integrations and seeing that at what funnel we probably want to. And of course, I mean, it leads to more disruption in terms of spending, but that's the way the modern consumer is. And you got to catch him where you can get his attention, even for a few seconds, I would say.
But kudos to you for innovating, and especially the rental and subscription model that you shared. So,
Thank you.
considering LivePure's strategic positioning and partnerships, what are the biggest challenges and opportunities you foresee? And how do you plan to navigate these dual demands to maintain or enhance your brand visibility? This is my last question.
So as far as biggest challenge is concerned is, if we talk about in the next 3 months, obviously the brand clutter and how do you stand out in the brand clutter is going to be important. For a long-term strategy for our business, we again believe that, we have to increase penetration. Let me tell you, Preeti, we may show a GDP growth, we may show a value growth, but India is all about volume growth because the penetration levels for majority of the products in India are still in single digits actually, or and hence if we don't really get into volume growth, we probably will not see an India which is actually prospering. So volume growth is very critical. I think that remains a big challenge, I would say, for any marketer, any CEO, AMD, to see how that volume growth is increasing. The premiumization is happening right now. So there are consumers who are completely inelastic, who are buying product irrespective of the prices because they want that kind of experience and services. So they're logging on buying that. So you see the value growth is happening, but it cannot be at the expense of volume growth because we are Indians, yeah, with 35 million households today. And if you don't really reach out to them and don't create volume growth, so I think that's one of the biggest challenges which any I would say a marketer of consumer facing products will face. And from a perspective of we see in challenging situations, we also feel brands letting off, and they don't have the steam to carry on the journey further. That gives an opportunity for brands like us who are committed for a long term in this market for for these categories. We
Are you
believe that.
talking about startups by any chance?
So I would say that, the way our business model is structured, we are a 12-year-old company, but the way we do our business, we're almost like a startup because, how did you ever think that water purifier can be given as a service, and that too without hands free? Let me tell you,
Hmm.
30% of our consumers today don't even go to a lead management and ask for understanding. People just want to have unassisted approach and they just go log in and they pay 349 rupees in the water purifiers at their home the next day, or whatever the plan they choose. So uh, I think I see an opportunity from a perspective of building an intelligent business where you can appreciate the customer's choice. I think you need to keep on understanding what the consumer's preferences are. It's one thing to say that you can sell here, but the consumer want to buy somewhere else. I think if you don't keep and navigate and keep a close track of the same thing, I think you're going to be out of the business very soon.
Well, all the best to you, Rakesh. I think it was an enlightening conversation with you. And today's insights not only shed light on the strategic brilliance behind marketing in the IPL and election seasons, but also highlight the importance of agility and innovation in today's advertising landscape. So, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the tactics that drive success in the times of heightened audience engagement and multiple channels, as Rakesh just shared. If today's discussion has sparked your interest, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to DMA Brandmasters. I'm Preeti Hoon, bidding you farewell until our next episode, where we will continue to explore the fascinating world of marketing. Stay curious, stay engaged, and keep tuning in. Thank you, Rakesh, and thank you, audience, for watching.
And thank you, DMA Asia too. Thank you.
Thanks.